Hello, I am the Black Jester. This is Black Jester Matters, a very special one again. I am, my name is, oh, I've been through that. Anyway, it's Gölök Buday, and, well, it's a very, it's a very harsh one. It seems that the far right, or regular right, wants me dead. And I'll explain. You see, I have an experience. My second police brutality incident, which was probably more the heavy-handed thing, since I didn't get any physical damage from it. Well, maybe it might have got worse. I don't know. At that point, I could still run away, and that's the crux of things. The what we're kind of looking at here is that well, from the beginning, I get to church, cathedral, Holy Rosary. I'm a confirmed Catholic. And so I thought, a little reflection doesn't hurt. It was the Saturday of Ash Wednesday, and I decided to just go in. And this is about a year, not less than a year after I was legitimately released from my bondage in association with the first brutality situation, and in which no one came to my help, no one believed me. Well, I don't know about believe me or not. I just didn't care really. I and still don't care really. I'm gonna play this out, and no one's gonna care either. But basically, everything what people have been saying suggests that they wish I was shot. And the wish may happen because their justifications. Because I'm sure those cops will be glad to try it again. Now that they can find right-wing assholes to excuse shooting someone in the back. Shooting someone in the back over a knife. Now that's what I go to the cathedral and I go around, reflect, take in the 7 stages of the cross and kneel and pray. This is when my knee was still a little better than it is now. It took a while to degrade more and more over time to be really painful. But even there, I mean, it's God, right? So you suffer a little bit here and there when you pray. By the way, that's the only reason to kneel. It's before God. And the only one that to the one you are submitting yourself to. The only authority in my case that I recognize would be God. And yeah, and this is a major concern. I hate all that kneeling crap, and I would say all those sportsmen and stuff like that. Their kneeling is actually an offense to my own police brutality injury. So I don't know. A lot of people get kneecapped and injured get knee injuries while they're getting police brutality. So taking a knee is not helpful to police brutality cases. And I think that's the first time this happened. The second time this happened at this cathedral. Where you're supposed to be safe and be able to get Well, the illegal immigrants certainly get it. They get a high. You get a high there. You get sort of immunity from the state and stuff like that because there's separations expected. Especially when the Vatican's sort of like an unstate, uh, a clerical. Yeah, I mean, it's like an embassy, a fucking cathedral. I mean, Jesus. So anyway, I don't spend a lot of time at this church. I do have an artifact with me. It's a blunted Nepalese dagger. It's a ceremonial thing for demon slaying. It's monotheistic, not the Catholic monotheism. It goes back to that. I mean, it goes back to a single God belief system, and very old, but no matter. It's an artifact. It was given me as a gift, and it's something nice to reflect with. It was brass, and it felt good in one arm when the other arm was a little, I don't know, tense. I think it might have been having circulation issues at the time. I don't know how much true that is. It just felt good to have it with me. And well, it was blunted and it was certainly shiny, I guess. Maybe someone saw a little bit of it, which, by the way, made it legal. Any knife, someone can see a handle, even a completely disguised knife, in Canada, in British Columbia. If you have a knife like hidden away in, I don't know, a pen or something, as long as they see the clip, they see a handle, as long as they see any part of the knife attached to the blade, then it's legal. So that's something to think about during this whole incident. And so I'm not there for very long, maybe less than a half hour, 15 minutes, and apparently, well, the claim the cops will make will sound rather weird because somehow when I leave through the doors out of Holy Rosary Cathedral in 2002, the Saturday of Ash Wednesday, the cops are there in an army size. I mean, it's ridiculous how many there are for one large guy. Before they had to pile up a 4 on me, and I was not well, basically, what I do, I see them, and my instinct after the first brutality incident, and this is why you'll naturally run for your own survival, especially if you don't want to cause harm, if you can avoid it. How I'm thinking is a mistake. A cop should have died. But, at least that's what the cops taught me. But I digress. I hope that never ever has to be a decision I have to make again. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've never committed a crime in my life. At least, certainly not convicted of anything, charged with anything, suspected of anything, investigated for anything, at least to my knowledge. So there's a little extra level to this whole affair. I ran for public office just after I got released from this situation. I ran for mayor again since '96, so it's the second time, I guess. The second time after it was '96 and 2002 in the fall, where I ran for mayor at that point. So that would be the second time. Anyway, I leave, the cops are there, I run back, I go dart back in, for my sanctuary, my right to sanctuary. The very thing they respect for illegal immigrants when they go hide in a church and stuff like that in the church basement. They do that in Canada. I went in for my sanctuary. They piled on me. I don't even know how many of them did, but I'm pretty sure about 5 to 10, probably the whole 10, grabbing me, throwing me to the floor, and piling on me. Stuff like that. And they pulled me out, and there's this guy who was relayed later by a decent investigatory cop, told me found it, and this guy was Detective Chalmers of the VPD, who apparently disappeared somehow, as did my knife from the evidence. They assume it got burnt, but that sort of heavy metal being burnt out, no. She couldn't find mine, though. That thing. Anyway, they yanked me out, and you know the usual thing. If you're not guilty of anything, why did you run and stuff like that? And I didn't say anything really. I had a right to sanctuary. I largely in shock. I mean, if anything, I just questioned the cops' reasonings and stuff like that, and abilities to understand. They lied and said I wasn't released from the last encumbrance. In the mental ward, which was totally fabrication. I did get my release because I couldn't really, on some deal stipulation, I go see a private psychiatrist who then said, "You're not insane, you're not taking these pills." Apparently, the government and private psychiatrists have a different view of that. Go figure. Public psychiatrists like to, government psychiatrists like to use this bullshit term, like holding up a strongly held belief and popular thought as delusion. Whereas my private psychiatrist, Gribble, quote unquote, said he viewed delusion as believing that little Martians under your bed are tickling your balls at night. He literally said that, and that was hilarious. But that, besides the point, that was Dr. Leonard Gribble said. The man who said I was not insane and also signed my nomination papers that day. Well, when I went back to him later, but that's another thing entirely. Private sector guys are less hacky than the public sector guys. I know I'm mind freedom, but even I can recognize there are some good psychiatrists out there who don't want to destroy people's lives and under government facilities and that sort of thing. R.D. Lang types, I guess you call them. And Len was a little more conservative than I am, definitely. I mean, if you mentioned stuff like being spied on, so you'd say, well, use a conservative view. Well, then you're not doing anything wrong. Why worry about it? Definitely conservative type. But at least wasn't conservative enough to say I should have been shot in the back. Which is exactly what I'm getting at here. When I ran, they said, "Why'd you run?" and stuff like that, and they said they knew I had a knife, which made it legal. I thought it was hidden by my beret better than that, but I wasn't exactly pointing it at anyone or flailing at anyone, and that's the whole point. It's not pointed at anyone at all. But I don't know. I was running to the church. I could have been a danger. They could have drawn and shot me And the right wing would have said, good for them. It might have been dangerous. Maybe he could have stabbed somebody. Maybe he would have stabbed a poor cop who knew the job was dangerous when he fucking took it. Those fucking evil fucking pieces of shit like Stephen Crowder, even Tim Pool, for fuck's sakes, justifying a fucking shooting in the back because, he might just turn around eventually and stab somebody. Should probably get you shot on the side if you did turn around fast enough, and maybe in the front side. It's beside the point. These people argue that I and anyone like me, law-abiding, should be shot in the back. Now think about that if you also hold that point of view, because I was nothing even like this moron over in Wisconsin. But even he deserves a certain amount of respect and honor. Didn't deserve being shot in the back. There's nothing more dishonorable and despicable than shooting someone in the back. What do they teach people nowadays? Doesn't the NRA even instruct properly on these matters? I'd be disappointed the gun owners of America don't even say, don't shoot the guy in the back. See the whites of the eyes, the old Israeli Putnam reference. Wilcock and Putnam, Revolutionary War, Bunker Hill, the thing that made America. The martial philosophy there. Whites of the eyes, yeah, people died. Definitely, because the English are sneakier. But there's a certain amount of idea of the moral victory. On a funny note, I'll say this. One woman came out there and tried to state that I wasn't welcome at the church, because everyone's welcome at the church, even if I are not confirmed Catholics. But she said that the sacristy didn't want me there. The sacristy is for those of you who aren't Catholic, sacristy is a cabinet. They put the Holy Host and the milk in. Sorry, I'm Hungarian. I get milk and blood confused. They put the blood, the wine in, and put this in the sacristy, or this cabinet for the Holy Host and the wine. That's the sacristy. Apparently, they were going to treat me like I'm nuts and toss me because they couldn't charge me with anything, and they couldn't take me to a court because I would have said something and all that other stuff. But apparently to claim there was no sanctuary, they tell me the cabinet with the Holy Host, well, she did, this broad there. Clearly she was not a Catholic. She didn't know what a sacristy was. Maybe she confused the sacristy for the Eucharistic minister, which holds no weight. I mean, it's not the Archbishop. But the moron actually said sacristy. And if she was talking to that cabinet, then they should have locked her up in a funny rubber room, and I wouldn't even wish that on her. Anyway, so just think about this. The next time if you are, or if you're watching Crowder or something like that, or some other asshole justifying the shooting of someone in the back, even because there might be a knife, there might be he might stab, he might this, might that, might that. There's no, might is not a fucking reason. And if I do ever get shot in the back by the cops because they still have a fucking hard-on for me at some point, because I'm a libertarian and I speak out against against brutality and stuff like that, and the brutal ones are the ones that are going to go after you for that. Just remember that the justifications are all on people like Carter. Sorry, I said Carter. Sorry about that. Crowder. People like Steven Crowder, Tim Pool. You little scared, little pathetic, freaking examples of men. Low-life, right-wing assholes. Oh, why should I leave sticks and hammer out of it, too? So-called libertarians. Scumbags. Fucking scumbag justifiers. Bootlickers. Make sure they know about this stuff, too, if they're talking this crap. So they'll never hear from me. I don't have a check mark on me. I really wouldn't miss any of them, so I don't donate. I mean, the only thing I for sure I'd miss is probably Freedom Tunes, so I do that one. But, yeah. And these pro-life fuckers, I mean, at least Pool ain't pro-life, but Jesus Christ, Crowder's pro-life, and I guess unless an assumed criminal is pointing his back at you. Now, I know one had a warrant on him, but as far as I knew, there was some weird reason that it had a warrant on me. And now, if it happens again, I'd have to walk slowly away, and they might decide that I have some sort of weapon on me. Maybe they knew I had some sort of weapon on me. I am an avowed guy. I'm a guy who avows himself of the fact that he even likes knives. I even have that history written up, no doubt, somewhere, saying I had a knife. It's just framed as having a knife or a dagger. You know it's blunted, a ceremonial artifact. Because they don't give a fuck. These pigs are just waiting to, they're scared little men, usually, in this big gang filled with weapons. They don't even out each other. That's the disgusting thing of all. They're all guilty on the fact that they don't even go through their own files, and they don't rat each other out on the worst of things. When a law-abiding citizen gets it, at least. But it doesn't matter what they have on them, on the records. The disgusting thing is shooting someone in the back. No excuses. No justifications. No mitigations. You wait to see the whites of the eyes, at least. But in my case, I can't wait. Well, I can wait. I don't want to be shot. But they're justifying my eventual shooting, because the VPD will still have. They're gonna kick themselves, thinking, "Oh, we could have just gotten away with it because we said he had a knife on him, even though it wasn't. He might still have one." They might decide to leave one beside me, who knows? Afterwards, they might decide, well, maybe, because they hide artifacts like knives and all sorts of things, it could be in anything. can say, well, he might have a knife in this, he might have a knife in that, he might have a blade in a cane, he might have a blade in a pen, he might have They put him in a lot of places, you know. They put him in a lot of places. Maybe I'm reaching for my boot. Maybe they're thinking, oh, there might be a knife in there. Might be a knife there. I'm so scared. I'm a cop. I outnumber him. I, I knew this job was dangerous, but I still took it. And I'm so scared. Fucking gang of people with guns. State in power versus a civilian. It's ridiculous, disgusting. My only saving grace is I do actually do these things in public, and I do make an issue out of it when I run for public office, which is quite a few times, including recently when I ran for Parliament. But who knows? Because everyone seems eager to justify someone being shot in the back for maybe having a knife that they maybe will use, with no certainty, with no jury, nothing. I did have 12 men though, I think, at least. Even though they were going piggy, 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 fucking pig. It's disgusting. Any reason I should even respect them? Non-investigator. Should I respect any non-investigatory cop? It's ridiculous. And why did they show up so soon, so quickly? The response time was astronomical, like they were waiting around the corner. I don't want to get into that right now. I just want to make my point that the right wing, and yeah, in this instance, of this issue, I will count Poole and Sticks in it too, as well as Crowder. Oddly, Hambly seems the most reasonable right now. Even Dix starts justifying it to some extent. A lot of people calling themselves more libertarian on the spectrum. I'll call myself done for now. I hope you all have a nice day, night, morning, whatever. And you learn from this and proliferate it. Share it everywhere. Share as many of my video versions and audio versions as you can around. You can, I'm like the website link even, where people can choose where to go. Stuff like that. At Black Jester Matters and blackjestermatters.com. blackjester.com. I will and share this point of view too. I'm sure not everyone's a monster. They can learn. The fact is, I wouldn't mind people disavowing my inevitable shooting. Or at least preventing my inevitable shooting by disavowing the shooting of people in the back because they might have a knife. They might have a history. Might. Blood-sucking might. Have a good night, day, morning, or evening. Black Jester, Gölök Buday, out.